Hello guys, welcome to the video. I hope all of you are doing well. So in this video, we are going to discuss our question print encodings. So let's see. So we are given a string of digit that will never start with a zero. Okay. And you are required to encode the string as per the following rules. Okay. What are the rules? So one will become A. Let's write it. Okay. Let's understand it better. It's a difficult, it's slightly bit difficult and a very important question. Okay. So encodings, that are question. So let me write the configuration. So 1, 2, 3, the encoding configuration 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. You are gonna understand why I'm writing it. Have patience, please. 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 and 26. Okay. And now I'm going to write its respective alphabets as per the rules we are given. So 1 will become A, 2 will become B, 3 will become C, 4 will become D, E, F, G, H, I, 10 will become J, 11 will become K, 12 will become L, 13 will become M, 14th N, O, P, Q, 18 become R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. So that's how you will encode. Alright. Let me reduce its size. Okay, perfect. Yeah. So here 1 will become A and 25 will become Y. Okay. So we are given 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3 encodings will become ABC, AWLC. Okay. So let me show you the output. We simply have to print the encoded form of the input we are given. Okay. So how we are going to encode? Now, let's understand. So let's say we are given 1, 2, 3 as our input. We are given 1, 2, 3. And we are required to encode this. So how will we encode? Okay. So let's try to break our number 1, 2, 3. Okay. How we can break it? So if we take one character at a time, it can be 1, 2 and 3. So what will be? It's encoded. So we know 1 is A, 2 is B and 3 is C. How else we can encode R 1, 2, 3? How else? So what we can do is take 12 at a time and 3. So this time the encoded form will be LC. How else we can encode this? Let's see. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And this time we are gonna take 1 individually and 23. So it's going to become A and 23, as you can see, W. So as you can see, it's similar to the output that is here for 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Now, that's how we have to print. What I want to show you is what's invalid. Okay. So what is invalid? Let's take one more string, a numerical string. Let it be 30308. Okay. So let's try to break it first individually. So if we break it individually, we can see 3 will become C and then we get 0. So whenever we get 0, that means we can't encode this, right? If it's 0. So that means invalid and we will simply not print anything. Okay, let's see more configuration. Now if we take 3, 0 in a pair and 8 alone, this time we know that the alphabets are from 1 to 26. So if 36, that means out of the range. We can't encode this. So we will print what? We will say it's invalid. I mean, that means we will simply not print it. So that's also invalid. We gotta take care of it. Okay. So these are some base cases. Now you can try it if you want. Interesting question. Now let's move to the solution. Okay, so I'm gonna create some space. Perfect. Okay, so we are given, let's say we are given 1 2 3, that's our input. 1 2 3. So okay, now in how many ways we can break it, and how break our 1 2 3? Can we let it be, for example, I want to show you here. Can we take here, can we take whole 308, whole 308, right? No, we cannot, because again it is out of if it's a three digit, if we are three digits, so that means it's out of our valid encodings, because we can encode to 26 only. So there are only two possible ways in which we can break our number. Okay, what are the two possible ways? It's if we take each of them at a time or in a pair. Okay, so can I say my number 1 2 3 got two choices? What are those two choices? Whether I will encode one individually, that means, let me write it here, 1, or I will take 23 at a time. 23. Okay, so now what I want you to believe, that somehow we will encode this. Somehow we'll encode 1. So in our answer so far, as we are given an answer so far, that means in our answer so far we will add a. Okay, here add a. Now my string will become 2 3. Okay, and if we take 23 at a time, if we take it in a pair, then what? Then our answer so far will become w, right? And our remaining string will be just, pardon me. Here it's going to be 112, right? I will, if we take first zeroth character, first character, it will be 112. 12. Okay, so this time for 12 it was L. Okay, right, perfect. Now L and the remaining string will be just 3, right? So my string got reduced to 3 here, and here got reduced to 23. Now again it got two options. What are the two options? Okay, here also two options. Now the first option is to go individually. So if we try to encode 2, so this time in our string we will add b, right? And our reduced string will be just 3, right? And if we pair it, that means we take both 23 at a time. So in our string I will add 23, that is w, and my string will become empty. So whenever my string will become empty, that means I'm getting my answer. Fine. And here if I take 3, so in my answer so far I will add 3, that means encoded 3, that is C, and my string will become empty. So I got one more answer, that is LC. But now here as you can see, there are no more two characters left. If that's the case, if string length is less than 2, that means I will simply return, right? So I will return from here, because we can't possibly go here. Okay, let's see further. Here. So now in my answer so far string, I can only add 3, right? I can only add 3. 3 means C. So it will become A, B, C, the encoded string, and here it will become empty. Perfect. So we got 3 possible answers. What are my 3 possible answers? ABC, AW, and LC. So these are my 3 possible answers. As you can see, ABC, AW, and LC. So now that we know this much, what I want to talk about again is the invalid cases. Let me write it here. Invalid cases. First, if the sub part, if my character is starting from 0, is starting from 0, or if my character is more than 26, right? If it's more than 26, that's also invalid, right? So let's try to code this. And still, I know we haven't talked about how we are gonna actually encode it, but we'll write some code and then we will understand it. Okay, so let's write code for it. Okay, first the base case. So when are we getting our answer? We know if the length of our string gets equal to 0, that means we got our answer. We are going to simply print our answer so far, and I'm going to return. Now I'm going to extract my character. How can I extract my character? Okay, so I will simply write S0. So it will give me my character. Now here we are talking about, let me write it here, single, that we are taking a character individually, our first call, right? So we know if it starts from 0, then what? Then it's invalid. So can I write if character is equal to 0, I'm gonna simply return. Okay, now my rest of the string. So if I take a single character at a time, my rest of the string will be 2 3. For here, for 1 2 3, it will become 2 3. So let me write rest of the string 1. It will be string from 1 till the end. So that will be my rest of the string. Perfect. Okay, now comes the important part. How will I convert the character we are given to a string? Okay, so let's see how we can do it. Okay, so let's see, you are given a integer 1 and you want to convert it into a character. And what character? You want to convert it into a, right? You want to convert into a. How will you do it? Okay, so what I want you to see is, for example, you are given a, right? And you add 1. If you add 1 in your a, what will we get? Considering a is your ASCII value of a, right? So what will we get? You will get b. Do you agree with me? You will get b. So can I say, if here I add my value this time, what is my value? My value is the character we are getting. I'm going to convert it into integer, the character we are getting, and if I add value, so then I will get it converted into a string, into the character that we want. Let's say if my value is equal to 2. If my value is equal to 2. So if a plus 2, what will a plus 2 give me? What? Think about it. So yeah, a plus 2 will give me c, right? Will give me c. So that's the reason, right? But of course, for 2 we want b, right? It is giving us 1 extra because we are adding a plus 1 here. So also we have to decrease it by 1 so that we get b, right? So for 2 we should get b, right? Of course. So let's code it, and yeah, you must be wondering that how it is actually working. We will discuss about it again while writing the code. So here I'm gonna convert my character into an integer. Okay, so I convert it into integer. Create some space. Now is the time that to convert my value to alphabet, right? To it encoded form. So how can I do so? Think about it. Yeah, we discussed. So code is equal to a, right, a plus value minus 1, right, and also this should be a character value, right? It should give us a character, so I'm going to convert it into character. So that's how I will convert my value into the encoded character. And then I'm going to call print encodings. And my remaining string, I'm going to pass my ROS, that is remaining string. And in my answer so far, I'm going to add code. Code is the encoded form. Okay. So you took care of the single pair. Now what if they come in a pair? In a pair. Right? In a dual pair. So if that's the case, that means if it is a dual pair and we want to go further, so I gotta take care of it by if length of string is greater than equal to 2, then only I will take care of dual pair, right? Then only I can extract 2 characters. Okay. So if that's the case, then my first step is to extract character. This time there are going to be 2 characters. So S from 0 till 2. So this will extract 2 characters for me. Okay. Now the remaining string, right? So remaining string 2 is equal to S2 till the end. Perfect. Now my val, I will call it val2. So I will convert it into integer ch2. Okay. Now again, encode this, right? Encode this. I'm gonna encode this. How we did it earlier, same as what we did here. So code 2, I'm gonna call it code 2 is equal to character a plus our value val2 minus 1. Okay. And now when we are going to call our recursion, we discussed 2 invalid cases. One was, let me show you, if it is starting from 0. So we took care of it if character is starting from 0, or if it is greater than 26. So if we are taking 2 characters, it can be greater than 26, right? So we can write if value 2 is less than or equal to 26, then only we are going to call our recursion. So print encodings. I'm gonna pass my remaining string like ROS remaining string 2, and in my answer so far I'm gonna add code 2. Okay, so let's try to run our code. Okay, so it's giving error. Let's see the error. Yeah, so in Python, if we want here, we want Unicode, right? Here we want Unicode of A. In Python, you can't just get Unicode by subtracting. You have to use a function called ord for it. So ord A, right? Here also it's going to be ord because we need the Unicode of A. Then we are converting into character. Before that, I want to show you ord in Python. Here you go. So it returns the Unicode from the given character, right? Simple. Now let's try to run it again. As you can see, it got accepted. Now let's try submitting it. Perfect, 10 out of 10. So I want to quickly review it, what we did. Okay. So we had what? We had 2 options. Whether we can take a single character at a time or 2 characters of a time, because that's only it's invalid. Right? That's only invalid. Then we discuss what's invalid, that if it is starting from 0, that means invalid, or this character is greater than 26, it's also invalid. Also, we discussed that we can't take 3 characters at a time because of course it's greater than 26. Okay, so these are the 2 choices. Then we discussed the important part, how we were going to encode this. So for that, we discussed if we get Unicode of A, if we get a sky value of A and we add 1 in it, so we are going to get B, right? If we convert into character. So what we did, if we get a sky value of A and then we add our value, right? Then what we are going to get? We were going to get its character but plus 1. Why plus 1? Here, see this. if we added +1 here, so we were getting B. But what we want is A, right? So here we want is original. We discuss example of value of B of 2. So if A plus 2, right, it gave us 3. Why 3? Because we added 2 to A sky value, but for 2 we want B, right? So we also realize we have to subtract it by 1. Okay, so that's how we were encoding our string, we are encoding our character. So for that we wrote code here. We first converted it into integer, and then we did what we just talked. And then for dual pair, we realized that if length is greater than or equal to 2, then only we can call recursion for it. And only when value is less than 26, we went further and called our function printEncodings. So that's it for this code.